Hi there, Leo. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your general angel reading for the week of February 14th through 20th of 2022. So let's just see what all your guardian angels want you to know today. So when this is a general angel reading, that means it's a group reading, right? So some parts of this may not resonate with you. That's totally fine. All your guardian angels have come together at my request, and they're offering to you the group message, right? So it's kind of a majority rules type of thing. And so as such, like I just said, some parts might not resonate with you. So that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So take what resonates, leave the rest. All right, so we've got half the cards out. We'll just wait a minute for the rest. One more now. Okay, and so obviously this week does begin with Valentine's Day. And so maybe you have plans with your significant other, or maybe you don't. Either way is, you've got some choices there. And no matter what's happening in that area of your life, you still always have the option to choose love. Okay, that's what they're just saying in the moment. Okay, so we've got all the cards out now. Let's just see what the big messages are. Okay, and first card is soulmate. So definitely try to keep that connection going strong. You know, it's like there's some taking for granted going on that maybe you've gotten accustomed to each other, and so you've been kind of not paying attention to these individual connections that you have with that person and not with other people. You need to keep that alive, because that is what makes the relationship unique. So I've said this before, your soulmate is not necessarily your romantic partner. Often it does end up that way, but it doesn't have to be. Like, this can be a really close friend, somebody who just gets you at your core, somebody who, you can totally be yourself with. And like I said, this may or may not be a romantic connection, right? So, but to acknowledge that this is a special relationship, and to not let it get stale. It takes some constant attention in order to maintain the freshness. And so your angels are reminding you to actually do that, so that it can stay as it's intended to be. Okay, for those of you who think that you have not yet met this person, they are right here. They are right here. So open yourself up, be receptive, be, noticing who's around, all that stuff, right? So keep your eyes peeled. You might be surprised by who you find. Okay, all right. Okay, lots of new going on here. This is beautiful. So the very next card is new love, right? And so, this part obviously is geared toward the people who do not currently have a romantic partner in their life. And exactly as they just said, that if you don't yet, then keep, stay vigilant, be aware of your surroundings, of the people in your surroundings, of what's going on, where you're being led, right? Because you can't sit at home on the couch and expect this new love to come and find you somehow. I mean, I guess it could happen online and things like that. But even that, if you never look at anything different than what you've ever looked at, how are you going to contact new people, right? Now, there's something to be said for, what's for you will not go by you. That's absolutely true. But at the same time, you can make that connection a lot easier if you are, receptive and trying to make new connections, right? Like if all your friends are like, oh no, she never goes anywhere and she doesn't do anything, and she doesn't, like, she goes to work and she goes home, and if you introduce her to somebody, she's cold and standoffish anyway, then how are you going to possibly meet somebody new who will not affect you that way, right? You have to be receptive so that that person can come into your life. So do that. Start being more active in social groups, and you know, not only telling your friends that yes, you're interested in meeting people, but when you actually do meet people, be friendly, be outgoing a little bit. Even if you are very introverted, you can still be friendly. You can still give off a receptive vibe instead of a back off vibe. Yes. Okay. All right. So being welcoming of that new love is going to be a key for you. So some of you who are currently in a romantic relationship and enjoying that relationship, this does not mean that that's going to end. This means that through your attention and probably the attention of the other partner, the other person, you can make it even better and deeper and a more close connection where you understand each other even better than before. It's a really great thing. It's a really great thing. And so, they're just kind of telling me that for some of you, this new love is friendship, is different types of connections, not necessarily romantic. And so, like, we can all always use new friends. Exactly. Okay. All right. And so here we have more new location. So for some of you, this might be a house, a home. For some of you, it's a new place to go to work. It could be a new job, but it could just be, a different location to go to the job. It could be a new location in your thoughts, in your perspective. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret this. So you take this as it resonates for you. If you're not moving and you're not doing a new job in a new place and whatever, well, what new could this be? And yeah, for a lot of people, it's a change in perspective. It's a new way of thinking of things that you probably just hadn't considered before. It doesn't really feel like a flip-flop or anything like that. It just feels like new knowledge has come to you, right? And so it's a new location to park your thoughts while you observe that. A new stage. Okay, all right. And, for some of you, this part just may not resonate at all. It may just not be for you this time. All good. Okay, all right. The magic of nature. Look at this picture. Isn't that beautiful? It truly is magical. The magic of nature. So spend some time outside, get fresh air, breathe deep. It feels fresh when they give me that. It feels very good. It feels like stretching after a long winter of closed indoor air, of getting outside into the beautiful sunshine and fresh air and the new vegetation, even though in some parts of the world it's a little early to be looking for that, but you can feel it stirring. And that is part of the magic of nature, is that it is stirring its new little shifts here or there. It's very subtle sometimes. And yet, when you decide to, pay attention to it, to observe it, it's definitely discernible. So go out into nature and see what you notice. See what's going on when things appear to be dormant, but they're not. Yeah. See how much you can notice, I guess, bring into yourself. You will find that very noticeable, I think, once you realize. Okay. And so you can trust what's going on in your life. You can trust your angels to have your back. You can trust that your path is leading you exactly where you need to go, that you are learning what you need to learn along the way, even the things that you're reluctant to learn. That's all on purpose. It's all on purpose because you need to learn that stuff for your future so that you know it next time, so that you are better prepared for what's coming. And you can trust that what is coming is specifically for you. Your angels have got you. They're guiding you along the best possible path. Now, we always have free will. We're people. We always have free will. We can always choose a different path than what is, apparently set out for us. And, most of the time, if we choose a different path, if we have resistance to what, appears to be where we're guided and stuff like that, you can do that. You can choose a different way. Usually it will be more difficult. It'll be things that, you can learn those. They're hard learned. And you'll know more for having learned those, but you could have got by without those things. So it's usually more difficult. We make it harder on ourselves than it needs to be, right? And ultimately, where our angels would guide us along this path, and we decide to go like this path, and we end up in the same place. So you can trust your angels to lead you the best possible way. Okay, all right. Now, it is time to raise your standards. Yeah, like you've been settling. You've been settling for things that, there's a lot of different reasons behind that. It feels like, some self-worth issues, those kinds of things, some confidence issues. And you've been, there's been lots of times where you're like, no, I want better than that. I don't want to settle for this. But you settled anyway because it just would be difficult, or you would inconvenience somebody else, or, whatever was going on with you. It's time to stop settling. This doesn't mean you're going to be demanding and be difficult and things like that, but you are going to set your boundaries in a different way. And you'll probably find yourself saying things like, I know in the past I settled for this, but I'm not willing to do that now. So now this is what I'm going to require. So like they're showing me a restaurant, like how if you order your steak this particular way, and this is the way you like it, and no matter how it comes, in the past, you've always just gone, okay, well, I guess I'll just eat it. Now you're sending it back and you're saying, I know I accepted that in the past, but I'm choosing not to do that going forward. So you'll have to fix this for me. And, it's not a confrontational thing, although it sometimes feels like it to somebody who hasn't done it before. But it is simply, holding firm to your own boundaries. This is what you like, and you don't have to justify that to anybody. That just is how you like it. Okay, all right, raising your standards. All right, so here we have the daily guidance cards, and we'll see what's one last piece of wisdom that your angels want to give you. Oh, I thought one had thrown out, but no. Okay, and so be honest with yourself is sometimes the hardest thing, Because sometimes we've been fooling ourselves for a long, long time and we don't even realize we're fooling ourselves, right? So yeah, go through some of your stuff that you think is true for you, and realize that the way you feel about that is not how you've been portraying it, even to yourself. Okay, this is an acknowledgement of when you have been like in the wrong, kind of, where you have misjudged somebody, where you know that what you did was not in the best interests of either yourself or the other person, and yet you've been burying your head about that. You've been refusing to acknowledge that you owe a apology or something like that. Be honest with yourself about that. You don't. It's up to you if you reach out to the other person, but at least, at the very least, acknowledge to yourself that you could have done better, and next time you will. Okay. All right. So, Leo, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you very much, and I love you, and I will see you next week.